So my energy's been kind of heavy the last 2 days. Well, I say heavy. It hasn't been super super heavy. Just like certain frustrations. Like so, there was something that was brought to my awareness that just like hit me like a ton of bricks. And I don't know. This particular thing, like, it's been thought about before, it's been understood before. And parts of it I've been actively healing, but I don't know. I don't know. Because it literally, like, the last 2 days. So the deal is, the day before yesterday, I started thinking, like, randomly now, I wasn't purposely trying to think about any of this. It just randomly kept happening, and even when I started thinking about something else to go do something else, it just kept, the thought process just kept coming back. And my mind kept going down this tangent of all the past relationships that I've been in. And not all of them relationships. Some of them were like the situationship, but yeah, in most of those cases it wasn't me wanting a relationship. It was just me being with somebody basically. But so, like, on one hand, I've acknowledged and taken accountability for the quote unquote situationships, right? The ones that I didn't care to be with past what we were doing. And I'll be completely transparent. I only did that type of situation with the people that I did that with, and it was like transparent. I was very blunt and honest, and they basically, like, they were coming at me for the same thing. It's not like they wanted anything either. So those were, I mean, they were reciprocated for what they were there for. But then the thought process goes into like actual relationships that I call myself trying to be with these people or this person and trying to make something out of it. And it was like such a fucking disappointment. Like, within myself, within my choices, within the people that I actually was with. And then the other night, I had a dream about this person. Like, at first it wasn't somebody, like, at first the person I didn't really know in real life, if that makes sense. Like, I knew who they were in the dream. I was dating this person in the dream, right? But in real life, I've never seen somebody with that face before, right? So I was dating this person, but they were just very abusive. They had two sides to them for sure. Like, one side, they were very, very catering, very loving, which got me interested into them in the first place. And then it was like a switch. It was like they wanted to get me back for things that they assumed and created almost in their own mind in order to make me feel like shit. And it was really bad. Like, it was abusive in the sense that they would do fucked up pranks. Like, they didn't beat my ass or anything in the dream. Anytime that's ever tried to occur in my dreams, I fight. Like, I'm a fighter in real life and in my dreams. That shit ain't a joke. But it was just petty shit. Like, let me try to give you an example. Let me see if I can remember. So, there's this one scenario, this one scene from the dream where I was sitting there, like, almost in a booth, basically, like this table style, where I was sitting next to my friend. We were kind of laughing it up. This person I was dating comes into the room and says something to me, but because I was laughing or something like that, they took this bowl of, like, what you would assume porridge looks like some blended up oats and water, and poured it in my face. Would just like pop, and it fell all in my face. And then it kept on walking and talking shit. And it was just like little petty things like that. But it grew bigger and bigger in the dream. Like, I can't remember anymore. It's starting to fade. I remember feeling trapped in the relationship. I remember my entire family and friends were like trying to get me out of this fucking situation, and it was all boiling down to this one day, because me and that person lived together. And when we lived together, it was almost like we lived in a hotel, but it was a home somehow. And it was like the day that we plotted a whole bunch of stuff to get me out of this situation, I was sitting there fumbling around with all the stuff in the home and trying to pack up some stuff that made sense to me to take. And all the while I'm doing this person was supposed to be at work. This person ends up coming home early. And so it ruined every single fucking plan that we had to get me out of there, because if they knew, they would have beat my ass or tried to kill me. It was a crazy freaking dream. And it was just like little petty bullying, abusive things that person kept doing to me. And then in real life, shit like this has happened. But not to that extent. Like, I never had somebody throw anything in my face as far as food or drinks or anything like that. But I've had some petty bullshit done to me within dynamics that I called relationships. I've gone through a lot when it comes to the people that I call a relationship. People that I was telling I love you to. And they were saying that shit back and then treating me like shit. Turn around and sit there and act like I was the worst thing that could have ever happened to them, in the sense of how they treated me, even though they would still tell me they love me, still try to act like, you know, I'm the best thing walking for them. And for most of those situations, I actually was. Like, they elevated because of me. But they kept trying in every single situation that I'm talking about, they kept trying to pull me down. They kept trying to shit on me and my existence in every single way possible. I was engaged at one point, and in that relationship, there's a number of things that happened, but within that relationship, that person emotionally abused me in the fact that every single time we tried to have a conversation about something that I feel, they purposely turned it into an argument, because they love to argue and flip everything back on me. Everything on me. That same person kept trying to mentally confuse me. And at first I let it play out, because I was like, that's dumb shit. Like, I see what you're doing, you know? That's not gonna faze me. But eventually, when you keep letting things happen, it starts to fuck with you. And you don't even realize it. That same person tried to put their hands on me one night. That was like my final straw. That was absolutely my final straw. We had got into it real bad that night. And I ain't one to sit there and beat somebody's ass to a bloody pulp or anything, but I will defend myself, and you will come out just as fucked up as I will. It has happened time and time again. Not too many times, because not too many people want to fight me. I'm a very loving and caring person. But the times it has happened, they have come out just as fucked up as me. I reciprocate very well in a lot of different ways. That's all I'm saying. Anyway. The same person tried to manipulate so many freaking situations. And here's the kicker. Here's the motherfucking kicker to that situation. I gave that person every fucking thing possible. And I'm not talking about just within myself and me being like a loving, caring human being, which was a part of it. But on top of that, this person's situation was trash. It was shit. I helped that person out of a whole situation that was collapsing on top of them, number one. I helped them elevate financially in a number of ways. Had that person move in with me. Had that person get a new car in my name. Had that person get, what the fuck else? I had to talk to them about how to move financially, basically, because they act like they didn't know shit. Put them in a whole new fucking townhome that they wanted. Got them the dog that they wanted. And it was like, person just used and abused every piece of me when it came to finances, when it came to my emotions, when it came to all of these things, anything and everything that I would physically do for this person. And then they turn around and do this dumb shit with the emotional abuse, the manipulation, and then trying to turn that into physical abuse. But I didn't let it get past that one night. I did not let it get past that. Because you showed me everything I needed to know at that point. If you were willing to take it that far, you showed me every fucking thing that I needed to know. On top of all the other things that I've already been witnessing and just going through, because I know that I can go through that. Like, here was the thing. I was subliminally taught that because I'm a strong person, that I can literally go through anything. And that I would be okay. And there is nothing wrong with that concept. The only part of that concept that is wrong is the fact that I kept going through shit. And instead of walking away from it, it was like, I'm strong enough, I'll be alright. When I should have just walked the fuck away. I should have just got out of the situation because it wasn't right for me in the first place. But because of that subliminal bullshit, I had to literally rip out of my fucking consciousness and my brain and my being, because of the action of it is habitual. It took a while to get that shit out of my head. And that's something that I was taught since being a kid. Because you're strong, you can go through anything, basically. And it was reinforced by actions and behaviors of the people that I grew up with. Anyway, I had another relationship where that person tried to be... They were building up to being abusive. I'll put it that way. They never put their hands on me. Because we were never together that long. But here's the thing. They would get so pissed off and love to argue. So they would start a fucking fight because they wanted to argue. And the way they expressed their anger and rage was through arguing and belittling and punching. Now, mind you, that person was not dumb enough to hit me. But they were building up to it. And what I mean by that is, if anybody's ever seen somebody act abusive or get to a point of being abusive or witnessed it within someone else, you know if they start punching holes in walls, eventually they're going to start aiming that shit at you. And there was one time that was... I lived in an apartment that had 3 freaking holes in the freaking doors and walls because of this person. First time they punched it, I was a minute away. You couldn't get to, they weren't aiming it at me. They were just expressing their frustration. They were like, ah, punch, right? Hole in the wall. And then the next time, getting a little closer to my doorway, expressing themselves in anger and rage and don't know how to handle themselves, basically punch another hole in the wall. The third time, I'm standing at the doorway in an apartment now. I'm standing at the doorway, doors closed behind me, right? So doors closed behind me, and we're sitting there arguing back and forth. Mainly just him arguing, because I don't really like to argue, and once I get to a certain point and I know you're not fucking listening to me, I'm not going to keep arguing. So he was expressing all of his rage, got to a certain point where he didn't want to handle it or could handle it, and punched the door frame behind me. And I say behind me because, let's see if I can reenact this. Dude come over and punch like this, right? Punching towards me. My first immediate reaction was to dip, to move, to bob and weave. So I did. I moved, and he punches the wall, or the door frame behind me. I ended things immediately. It was already building up to something weird that I didn't want to be in the first place. And then you do that, you're 2 seconds away from my face. If we get to a point of arguing again, and you hit me in my face, they gonna put me away for murder. I don't play about me. Not like that. Not like that. You lucky I haven't let you get 2 holes in the wall in the first place. Anyway, let me stop talking shit. I've been in some weird situations, bruh. In regards to relationships, in regards to people I chose to care about, and people who claim they cared about me. There's not many people in this world that could say that I actually genuinely was in a relationship with. Have I messed around with a couple people, a lot of people, handful of people? Maybe. I ain't gonna put all my business on Front Street, but very few. I can still count, I think, on one hand. Hold on, let's see. Excuse me. Dang it, she got stuck behind the dresser again. Hold on. I can definitely still count on one hand how many relationships I've actually had. Where I was saying we're in a relationship. They were saying we're in a relationship. They asked me to be in a relationship with them, and I said yes. And in those relationships, in those chosen, accepting relationships, I have dealt with some fucked up people. And that has been a part of my journey to heal. Let me get this cat from behind. She jumps on the top of my dresser, but there's like, it's at an angle in the corner. And then she thinks she can jump down behind there and get right back out, and she keeps getting stuck. Yeah, I've dealt with some bullshit. And this is what's been hitting me like a ton of bricks for the last couple of days. Because it's like every person that I actually was in a relationship with, like I said, calling it a relationship, every single person they ended up being abusive. Except one. Let me think about that. Hold on. Yeah. So I had one punching holes in the wall, and was eventually gonna hit me. We all know how that goes. Again, if you've been around anybody that's been abused, or you've been abused yourself, you know that shit leads up to them trying to hit you. And it's an intimidation factor. It really is what it is. Like, it, you could say it's them not knowing how to express themselves, but at the end of the day, they ain't punching holes at work when they sitting there arguing with their boss or not agreeing with their boss. They'll just talk shit about it and let it go, or not even talk about it at all, actually. So, what are we doing? Anyway, person that wanted to punch holes in the wall. Other person that wanted to use me. Or let me just state it this way. The person I was engaged to. Because there was so many different tactics with that. So many different tactics. It was ridiculous. And I didn't even realize, because I again, I had the mentality, I'm strong enough, I can go through and get through whatever, and it's okay. I understand. Like, I was at the point in life where I kept over understanding people in their situations. Oh, they went through this, that, and the third. I understand why they're like this, because their mom was like this. For that particular situation, it was because their mom was abused. And I don't even think they realized that they were mimicking the abusive behavior. And then I had brought it to their awareness after things had broken off a little. We had a conversation, told them it's almost like you were mimicking the person that abused your mom. And they straight up told me, well, that really sucks because you didn't deserve that. Wasn't even aware. Or at least not acknowledging it to me in my face. Not even aware that they're doing that shit. They're just doing that shit. That's crazy. This is why it's so important to heal. Because you don't know. First of all, there's two major things. One, you're mimicking the people that hurt you. Whether it's a surface level or a deep, deep, deep subconscious thing. You're mimicking them in some way. The other thing is, because of all of the hurt and the misconstrued feelings that you have and all of the kept pent up things, bad feelings, basically, bad emotions, all stuck inside of you over that person, that situation, puts a lens to where you view everything based off of that hurt and pain. It's not based out of a good place. So now, this person that really just might need their space because that's the type of personality they are. I'm going to use myself as an example. Now, just because I need to take a little space here and then, just because that's how I get my messages from my guys, just because that's how I reset my own energy and make sure I'm not passing on bullshit to the person that's next to me, or sometimes I just need a breather. Sometimes I just need to sleep a lot. I need a break. That does not mean I need to break up from someone. But if someone is with me viewing a lens from all their hurt, from all their pain, from all this bullshit with people that they've taken and mimicked throughout life, based off of those things, based off of traumas, they are always going to view me as somebody that's either cheating on them or that just doesn't love them. And with the people that I've been with before, it was never, they knew I'm a very, very loyal character. It was never that they thought that I was cheating on them. It was always that they would assume and project the fact that I didn't love them or that I wanted to break up with them. When in actuality, I take breaks from my own family. I take breaks from my own self. I take breaks from all of the projects that I want to work on. I have to take breaks. That's how I operate. I'm an air sign. I need space. Anyway. But that's why it's so important to heal. So important to heal. But back to my tangent. Back to the shit that hit me like a freaking ton of bricks the past couple days. All of these relationships were abusive and manipulative. And it's one thing, like, I know some of y'all that are watching, the first reaction is you attract what you are. No, that's not always the case. Like, certain cases, yes. But here's the thing. You accept
what you're used to. You don't always accept exactly who you are. You tend to accept who your family members were, who your first relationships might have been, and how they presented themselves to you. And if they were, in my case, if they were manipulative, then you think that's normal. I thought it was normal. And actually, in reality, it actually is. In this life, it actually is. Because there are more people that manipulate and are willing to hurt the people around them to get to a place that they're comfortable or get something they want. That's the truth of the situation. It's very, very dramatic. It's very, very sad, but it's the truth of the situation. Majority of the people in this world, and they are like that because this world, this system, I want to say gratifies. It rewards that. It rewards people being it rewards people stepping on other people to get to where they want to be. It rewards people doing whatever they got to do to be the top dog. Whether that's lying to people, whether that's manipulate people, whether that's withholding information, whether that's so many things, guys. So many things. This is quite literally why in business they have so many laws in place now. So many laws in place because so many people try to get over on other people. It's rewarded. It's always been rewarded. And then they started placing laws, and that's the only slap on the wrist you get. And you can still find ways around that. That's crazy. I've just been, because this stuff hit me, it's just been, like, it makes me upset. Like, I want to cry all day about it, and then I just get so freaking mad because it's like, it's like, why did I think that was okay, number one? Because a part of me didn't think it was okay. It was just like, I've always had this underlying, not even underlying, but I've always had this belief that once you choose to love somebody, you have to love them for the good and the bad, right? But it took me a while to stop continuously trying to love somebody that has shown me that they would be completely unhealthy for me. I think I still struggle with that. Because I want to love genuinely the people that I choose to care about. But they don't have the capacity, number one, to love themselves. Number two, to actually take the time to heal these parts of themselves, to actually express a healthy love, which means that they can't love me. And that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted was love. And there's nothing wrong with me wanting love. There's nothing wrong with me wanting a healthy version of love. I'm worthy of that. I'm deserving of that. I give it and it needs to be reciprocated. But now, like, I've had to do so much healing work to get to a place to even say that. To get to a place where I can walk away from a situation because I can see it already offhand, off bat, that it's not going to be good for me. And I have to walk away immediately. I have to find a way to go ahead and detach from the situation because it's not good, even though I want to still pursue loving that person. This healing journey is not for everybody. Because once you actually see how much you've disrespected yourself and you've allowed other people to disrespect you, it's like fucking crazy. And it just hurts. All of it just fucking hurts. And I've already gone through a lot of this. I've already gone through a lot of these thought processes. I've gone through a lot of... I've done a lot of healing work with myself in regards to these situations and what I felt from them and what I even ignored from them. All the fucking red flags I tried to ignore because I genuinely just wanted to love people. And I wanted to show them love. And because some of them, a lot of them are... all of them came into my life, and I knew that they did not know a genuine love. I knew that they never seen an authentic and healthy version of love. And I came in there only knowing that because I have taken the time to love myself and learn myself. And seeing different versions of relationships around me, I kind of pick and chose what looked good and what looked healthy and what felt okay. And created like perfect relationship type of thing. And I'm not saying like perfect relationship for... like that's how I never base my relationships off of that. But I use that as a base of how I would act and operate within relationships. I would be that version of authentic love, of real love, of healthy love. And none of those people that came into my life knew what that was. None of them. And my first thought was, I just want to show them. I just want to show them what a healthy love can feel like. And for some of them, they felt it. They absolutely felt it. And they hated the moment that I decided I had to walk away. Didn't want to let that go. Didn't want to let that go at all. But they didn't know how to let all the other stuff go that kept getting in the way of it being like a genuine, healthy relationship. They didn't even know they were doing half of these things. Didn't want to take accountability for it either. A lot of them did not want to take accountability until it was too late. And I was already walking out the door. And when I start walking out the door, I promise you, I don't ever fucking look back. Because you pushed me to that point. Full Aquarius, freaking side note. Full Aquarius, disclaimer real quick. We'll let you keep pushing us and pushing us to a certain point, and either A, we're gonna explode like fucking crazy, or B, we're gonna walk away and never fucking look back. Because you did that. You did that. I told you time and time again, we had the conversations, expressed ourselves. I allowed you the grounds to express yourself. You act like you took accountability, and then you turn around and kept doing it again. No, I don't play them games. I was naive enough in my earlier years to believe that eventually the behavior would change. No. I don't play about myself that way anymore. I absolutely do not. If you can't take accountability for the first couple times, like first 1 or 2 times that I bring something up, then I'm not even going to mess with you anymore. I'm really not. Like, because you've already shown me that you're not willing to take that step. You're not willing to see yourself. And I can't do anything with anybody that is not willing to see themselves. If you're not willing to see yourself, learn yourself, see all the bad habits you carry, and see the things that are toxic, or even see the things that like just negatively impact me as a human being. If you don't want to see that stuff, then number one, don't come fucking with me. We reflect and amplify over here. Like, what? Oh my gosh. Okay. I didn't mean to have a whole crying fit in the middle of this video, but it's just like, this is how I've been feeling the past 2 days, because all these things were coming back up, and it was like all at once. Like before, when I did my healing work in regards to this, it was little by little, one by one, person by person kind of situation, right? And these last 2 days, I don't know what's going on planetary wise, what is aligned with what retrograded who, like, I don't know right now. I haven't even been paying attention to any of this, other than the fact that I know Jupiter is moving, and when Jupiter is on the move for me, it is always a good sign. But oh my God, these last 2 days. Ooh, I've never been so triggered in my life. In my life. I know for sure that it was brought up for a reason. Because I have been lately, within probably the last year and a half, maybe. Well, past year. I'll say past year. Within the past year, I've been more standing up for myself in regards to situations that feel similar to those from my past, and situations that don't feel aligned, and situations where people's energy is just fucked up. I've been standing my ground more and more when it comes to that, and just not messing with people, and learning to detach a little earlier than what I would have before. And I think that's why it's been coming up. And I've been giving myself the time and space away from people. Like I've been living, so here's the full scoop. I decided to live a sober lifestyle, so no drinking, no smoking, and I've been lightweight celibate. Like I haven't been just like having fun out here. Like I've been staying to myself. I isolated all throughout the winter, and I started coming back outside. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I started coming back outside and hanging out with folks, but I ain't been doing nothing. I haven't been dating. I haven't been doing anything. And it's like, and a couple people have tried to come into my life, and I've just told them no, basically, or I just didn't fuck with them. Like, I didn't entertain anything they had to offer. There's probably only like 2 people where I entertained it for a little bit, and then I walked away from it. Because it didn't make sense for me. The energy was all kinds of weird. And I'm not dealing with bad or weird energy. Come correct. That's real simple. That's how I'm operating these days. Come correct. No, come at me with some weird shit. Don't come at me with trying to have sex with me and you don't even know me. Like, that shit is weird to me. That shit is so weird to me. I'm a sapiosexual, so it's like, you gotta get me in every other way before you really get me sexually. Anyway. This camera's weird. It's like AI in my face and making things move when it should have moved. Look. It's lagged. Alright, I'm gonna get off of here. Thanks for letting me cry. Thanks if you watched the whole video. I'm just out here pouring out my heart and soul, apparently. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna cry myself to sleep. Good night. I love you guys. Look forward to the next one. Hopefully it won't be so heavy. Hopefully I'll have a whole bunch of good news just out of nowhere, and Pluto is gonna love me in the next rest of the year. We'll see what happens. Love y'all.